Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know by now I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're looking at another Panasonic product. I'm really enjoying all my Panasonic stuff. I've got quite a bit of it now, and we're looking at a lens that I purchased for the Micro Four Thirds system. So I bought it for my G100, my Olympus cameras and my GH5s. Although today I got it fitted to my G100, and what we're looking at is the Pro 35-100 lens, constant f2.8 aperture, and there it is with its lens hood on. It's a very light and a very compact lens. Now I was looking at, I knew I wanted a compact lens because when we go out and about, I don't want to be lugging around heavy, well, potentially heavy, you know, full frame stuff all the time. I will do on certain trips, but if I'm just going out for a jolly, I just want to take the G100, possibly my little Olympus EPL9, something along those lines, not even my GH5. Take a couple of lenses, and I've got the 12-35 lens as well, f2.8, which is complementary to this one, to be honest. And that's fitted to my wide GH5 Air, so that's actually getting the wide shot that you can see that we're looking at there. And then, as I say, I've got the next one, which is the 35-100, and that pretty much I don't know which camera to look at because I've got too many, but there you go. And that covers you know, a really wide range. So effectively, with this 35-100, it covers really 70-200. So that's a very broad range, from medium telephoto for portraits, even wildlife and what have you, right through to the 400 end, which is the 200 end, which is, you know, the telephoto end, short telephoto for wildlife, sports, and that kind of thing. Now, it's got an f2.8, constant f2.8 aperture. That is superb. So it doesn't matter where you are within the range, whether it be at 35mm or 200mm, the aperture won't change. That's great for video use. It's great for stills as well, but particularly video, because if you are zooming in on the subject on your video, you're not going to have to change the aperture, or the exposure isn't going to change. It's going to be constant. So great in the studio here. So it's a constant f2.8 aperture, which is absolutely excellent. It's compact. Look how compact that is. That is really, really tiny. It's a really small lens. Now that's the other beauty with Micro Four Thirds. You see the size of that. I should put the weight in on the video in a you know, a little description in the video. But that's a really compact professional lens, and it produces great images. I was looking at getting the Olympus 40-150 Pro lens, so that would have been more of a telephoto end, but not so wide at the wide end. But that was a really, well, it's not a big lens because it's still Micro Four Thirds, but it's quite a bit bigger. It is actually a lot bigger and heavier than the compact Panasonic 35-100. You'll also notice it has got image stabilization, so it is an image stabilized lens. So on a Panasonic body, it will work as dual O.I.S. So it won't on the G100 because it hasn't got in-body image stabilization. It's got electronic image stabilization on the G100. But if you use it on something like the GH5, a G9, G90, anything like that, you'll get dual image stabilization. But it does show up on the back of the screen, not that you're going to be able to see, but the image stabilization is working. And if you're using it on a tripod or maybe a gimbal and you don't want the image stabilization on, because you might get some weird effects. I've never noticed it, but you might do. There's a little switch on the side here for turning the image stabilization on and off. And so that's rather nice. It's got a beautiful zoom control to it, and it's internal zooming, which is great. Again, if you're using it on a gimbal, that's phenomenal because it's not going to trombone, so it's not going to affect the weight on the gimbal. It'd be a constant weight. So you've got a, you know, really smooth zoom function there, and a nice focus ring. Now it is focused by wire, so it's not going to be precise for focusing for video. Particularly if you want to do rack focusing, you're never going to get to the same spot twice. But it has got manual focus, and it, you know, I suspect it works fine. I've not tried manual focus, but it's the actual sheer size of the lens that really excites me, because if you look at what I've got here, Here's one I made earlier that Blue Peter used to say. Oh dear. You know, if you look at this lens, now this is a phenomenal lens. This is for the Sony APS-C cameras, such as the A6600, 6400 and what have you. And this is a 70 to 340, so admittedly, 350, sorry. Admittedly, it's a much wider range. It's a much longer telephoto, quite a bit longer telephoto. But look at the sheer size of it. You compare that to that, and the sheer weight of it is tremendous. You know, it's quite a bit heavier, and this is compact. And don't forget, this hasn't got a constant f2.8 aperture. This is f4.5 to 5.6, something like that, or f4 to 5.6, f4 to 5.6. So it isn't even a constant aperture. So that's a sort of, you know, if you're looking at APS-C or full frame, they're much bigger lenses. If you want to get a 70 to 200 for full frame, f2.8, it's big, but it's really expensive as well. You're probably looking at spending anything between 1,500 to 2,000 quid. Where for Micro Four Thirds, you're not looking at spending that. And as I say, Micro Four Thirds has tremendous benefits, particularly if you do a lot of hiking, or you're going out on your bike, or you're going out, you know, you don't want to cart around lots of lenses, but you want to get really good images. That's the sort of system to take, you know, a nice compact little body like that, with a great lens like this, because it has got in-body image stabilization. It's a really, really nifty lens. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look at some test photographs that I've done. I haven't taken a lot of test photographs simply because the weather's been so naff here in the UK. I haven't been able to get out and about to take many, but also we can't go anywhere anyway, you know. So I'm about to take them out in the garden, and you know, the clarity is really good. And let's go full screen on that. If you look at this, you know, this plant, I don't know what plant it is. It's my other half that grows the plants. I don't know nothing about them, but look at the detail here. You can see the detail in the leaves. It's so good. It just picks it up. And the same with that f2.8 aperture, great in low light. Also, you've got pretty good dynamic range. Let's have a quick look at, because that's a bit dull, that one. So we can, you know, we can bring some oomph back into that, bring the shadows back up. Look at that. You know, just a few clicks. It doesn't take it. You know, it really doesn't take much to produce some really nice images out of Micro Four Thirds. It genuinely doesn't. You know, that's flat. That's put a little bit of life back into it. As simple as that. You know, and the sharpness without adding any more sharpness. It's a pro lens. It is really good, and they're not expensive lenses. You know. And saying they're nice and compact. Look at those greens. I sometimes forget, you know, how good Micro Four Thirds is. I've got so accustomed to, you know, APS-C and full frame being, this is what I have to use. You know, you don't. You can get some great results from Micro Four Thirds, and it does annoy me when people write it off by saying, you know, you have to go full frame. You genuinely don't. Low light is an issue, I completely admit that, but if you've got an f2.8 or 1.8 lens, you can get around that as well, you know, and it's great. Again, that's a bit dull, so we can put a bit of life back into that. Bring that up. Not sure what camera this was taken on. I think these were taken on the G100, I think. The clarity of the lens itself is absolutely outstanding. Find a bit of this in focus. It will be there. That's the thing with shooting at f2.8. You do get lovely depth. Again, even with Micro Four Thirds, you can create that lovely depth. Yeah, the bokeh is more difficult. See, look, these raindrops. It's really nice. I could keep on going. What I will do is put the, see, look, this is really good. Really crisp images. What I will do, I've got a Flickr site where I upload you know, all my sample images, and they're in various albums. So I will upload the album of the sample images with this lens, so you at your leisure can actually look at them correctly. Looking at them on YouTube is a bit pointless really, because YouTube's compression is far too high to actually see the clarity and the quality of a lens. So it's easier for you to look at them on my Flickr page, and there will be a link to the Flickr page in the description below. And there'll also be an Amazon affiliate link to, you know, for buying this lens. If you do want to buy this lens, you know, follow the Amazon affiliate link. It don't cost you any more, and I earn a few pennies. The great thing about Amazon, they have a really good no quibble returns policy. So if it isn't for you, once you get it, you can easily return it. So here we go. That's a quick summary of the Panasonic 35-100 f2.8 lens. As I say, it complements the 12-35 beautifully. So then you've got the whole range then. So you basically got from 24 to 200 in just two lenses, and a very compact, very compact format. And great when used with something like the G100, because the G100, as you can see, is a very compact body. So it's got articulating screen. I will put a link somewhere up here to my review of a G100, because it is a great camera. It's underrated. It's being promoted by Panasonic as the ideal vlogging camera. I completely disagree with that. I think it's the ideal hybrid camera to take with you on walks, to take with you if you're going on holidays, short trips, and you don't want to take all your big equipment with you. This takes amazing images. It's the same sensor as the G9 and I think the G8's. So there we go. So I hope you found all that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you do like the content of my channel. That'd be really helpful. Helps me grow the channel, and it helps with the YouTube algorithms. And more comments are great. I do read all the comments. I'm not the quickest at replying to comments, but please make comments. That's really helpful as well. And hit the like button if the content of this video is helpful. And I say, take a look at my Flickr page so you can actually see what the images really are like that come off the this 35-100. Although there isn't many on the Flickr pages yet, because we're in winter here in the UK. We can't get out and about. It's naff weather, except I'm just making excuses, but you know, it's the best I've got. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the channel, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video and photography. Cheers for now. Bye.